What's up, everybody? On today's show, Oklahoma is coming to the SEC in just a few weeks. We'll talk with a current Oklahoma Sooner football player to find out how excited he is to be coming to play where it just means more. Locked on SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On SEC. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Shout out to Everydayers. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts on YouTube. Part of Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more right. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Without further ado, welcome our special guest. He is wide receiver for the Oklahoma Sooners. He is Nick Anderson, and he joins us now. Nick, welcome in, man. What's going on?
What's good, man? Happy to be here, man.
Yeah, it's been a fun off season here. We've been catching up with different guys. Talked with Taylor Green over at Arkansas. We talked with a guy at Tennessee. We've had on a bunch of different guys, and it's weird to be saying Oklahoma and SEC in the same sentence now. Does it feel weird for you yet?
Yeah, no, definitely. They put the patches on all of the jerseys in the locker room, and it's taking a little bit of getting used to, but it's getting there. I think we'll be straight.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, look, there's gonna be so many new things for SEC fans to get used to, so many new things for Oklahoma and Texas fans to get used to. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. But let's start here. I watched y'all's spring game just a little over a week or two ago, and you guys just wrapped up spring ball. Give us an idea on how everything went with everybody.
Man, everything was good. We had a lot of new guys coming in, and they just got their first snaps of football with the team. So I think everyone did pretty good. Had a lot of standouts on the offense and the defense. A lot of transfers that stepped up and did their thing, and just really excited for this season. I feel like we got a good team. I feel like we're gonna do great things. So.
I saw they kept, and this was kind of across the SEC. Some key players didn't play in the spring game and all that. You didn't take part, but it was more just precautionary type thing.
Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of people on the sidelines could have played, but it wasn't really any point. Just want to get healthy for the season, and or not the season, but the summer. Work with Schmitty in the off season, get strong, and get ready for the season. So.
Yeah, and we know what you can do. Let's let other guys get in there and see what the unproven guys could do. And speaking of that, you had such a productive season last year. Redshirt freshman, 38 catches, 798 yards, 10 touchdowns, a freshman receiving record at Oklahoma. You look just so comfortable out there. Big 12 Player of the Week against Tulsa. Did that redshirt season, like sitting out that year, did that really kind of help you and get you ready for last year just to make that big leap?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you can really point to all areas of the game, but, just the mental side of it, it's a different speed. And as a freshman, you got to get used to that. And, especially the playbook and reading coverages, playbook especially, we could just talk on that. I mean, coming in from Katy High School, very, very one-sided kind of offense, and then getting thrown into an option game type, fast-paced offense that Coach Levy brought. I had a lot of growing up to do and a lot of studying that I had to get done, and I wouldn't have been able to do what I did this season last year. So I feel like that red shirt definitely helped.
For those watching on our YouTube, you're going to see we're going to pop up photos of Nick throughout this interview. So you're very photogenic, we'll say. You have some really cool pictures of some highlight catches. So we'll work that in throughout. Jackson Arnold, quarterback, 5-star, started the bowl game for you guys, highly touted, big-time recruit. What was it like getting to work with him in the bowl game, and what have you seen from him since he's now kind of been handed the reins this spring?
Man, that's my guy. I mean, in the bowl game, you know how that went. He threw me a little touchdown in the back of the end zone, and, it was placed perfectly. But this spring, I mean, he's really stepped into his role as a starting quarterback. He kind of had a laid-back approach last season, just learning under Dylan Gabriel, but he's really became a vocal leader this spring, and has really taken everybody under his arms and, brought the offense together. And I feel like that's showing, especially with our production. It's gotten way better, and our execution's gotten way better throughout the spring season. And I think it's going to be really fun watching what he does this season, because I feel all the buy-in from all my other teammates, and I feel like we're going to do a lot. So.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's had a nice little track record here of quarterbacks, but basically like the last decade, you guys have had like stud after stud after stud. So, Jackson's just the next guy in line here to step up to the plate and do his thing. I watched the spring game. You guys brought in a transfer from Purdue, really turned some heads throughout the spring. Wide receiver Deion Burks showed out in the spring game. What have you seen from him so far?
Man, he's a pro. I mean, everything he does, from taking care of his body to studying the game, or just bonding with the teammates. I mean, he's really just what's the word? I don't know. He's just really just an outgoing guy, really extroverted, and gets along with all of his new teammates really well. And when he gets on the field, he leaves it all on the field, goes 100% every play, and you can see that. You saw him ball out in the spring. He had 2 touchdowns over 50 yards. So, I feel like that speaks for itself.
Is there kind of I guess everybody's trying to figure out roles and that sort of thing, but I mean, also like it doesn't hurt to have wide receivers that are versatile. Do you feel like you have guys who could, different guys who can play the X, can play the Y, can move all around the line of scrimmage?
Man, I think Coach Jones does a great job of just getting everybody ready for any job on the field. And, we have a lot of versatility in our room. We have guys that can stretch the defense. We have guys that can, make the big play. We have guys that can go up, do what needs to be done. We got guys who can block on the perimeter for however long you need to. I mean, we just have a really deep room, and that shows, in my opinion. And Coach Jones, like I said, does a great job. Just make sure everybody knows every job on the field. So if need be, we can put anybody anywhere. So.
Man, it's a crazy deep room. I mean, you talk about Andrel Anthony, Jaleel Farouk, Burks, yourself. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like on paper, this looks like one of the best wide receiving groups in the country.
I mean, and that's our mentality. I mean, we think we're the best, and that's what we're going to bring to the SEC. So
that's why I said on paper. You got to go prove it. You got to go do it, and
always.
We're talking with Nick Anderson. A lot of retooling on that offensive line. It's interesting watching. It was a lot of new names or new faces, but what I see is a lot of seniors, like senior transfers coming in, and that's veteran guys who've played a lot of football. You bring back, of course, Gavin at running back. Very productive last year as a freshman. What's the rest of this offense kind of look like? Outside of the receivers, what have you seen from this offense?
Well, I mean, like you said, we have a lot of senior transfers coming in, but I feel like that just adds to it. I mean, we already had a really good O-line, maybe just didn't have a lot of experience, but, I mean, they put on a show this spring, and I couldn't ask for more from them. But I know they're just going to grow with each other, and the seniors going to make the younger guys better. Young guys going to make the seniors better. It's just a competitive environment that we all thrive in. And besides the O-line, I mean, tight end room. I mean, we just got Bauer Sharp in the picture, and he's been great. I mean, he's real physical, really has that blue blood mindset. And, I mean, he's going to be great. And then in the running back room, I mean, like you said, Gavin Sawchuk is going to be good. Javante Barnes hasn't been talked about a lot, but I feel like he's going to step up in a big way this season, especially when he's healthy. And, we got a lot of other running backs that are coming in that are going to make a name for themselves, like Caleb Hicks and others. So I'm really excited for this offense.
Hey, more with Nick Anderson in just a second, but I want to remind you guys this episode is presented to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Look, it is winner take all time in the NBA and the NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet over at FanDuel. That is $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, whatever it is. You can get it over at FanDuel.com/lockedon. You want to make sure you put in that FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's going to get you the great offer that they got going on right now. You can make every playoff shot count. I got friends that are doing parlays every night on NBA playoffs. If you're into hockey, you can get into that as well. And of course, they got all those future bets for the upcoming college football season, win totals and all that kind of stuff over at FanDuel. But make sure you go to their website, FanDuel.com/lockedon, if you've never signed up before, and take advantage of that $150 in bonus bets for any new customers. It is FanDuel. They are America's #1 sportsbook. Continue our conversation with Nick Anderson here, wide receiver at Oklahoma. And Nick, before we get back into talking about the current team, you come from a very athletic family. Your 2 older brothers played in the league. Rodney was there just not too long ago. Obviously, I remember him. Did he play in that game against Georgia in the playoff game?
He did. He did. That was one of his best games. I still remember that game. It hurts to think about it too much, but yeah, that was a good game for him. He had I think he had 2 touchdowns, 100-some yards. So
Yeah, it was a great day for him. And man, it's always good when you come from a good bloodline, and you guys know how to ball out when the bright lights come on. Let's talk a little bit more about this current team. What have you seen from the defense? You got some big names coming back. Obviously, linebacker Danny Stutsman, Billy Bowman at safety. What have you seen from the defense throughout the spring?
man, the defense has just been outstanding. I can't even talk too much about them. They just been on point, really challenging us as an offense to be on our P's and Q's. And I feel like it's just gonna make our team that much better. I mean, they're really sound, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. You gotta really win your one-on-one matchups if you want to beat that defense. And it's even hard to do that with some of the guys they got back there. And our defensive line just looks amazing. I could brag on the defense all day. Really want to get into it, but like I said, they don't make a lot of mistakes. And again, they're coached up really well. BV does a good job of just making sure everybody knows their job, exactly what to do, where exactly to be, and can't ask much more than that.
Give me the guy when you're a practice line up against it. You go, all right, this is gonna be a battle. Like I gotta win this.
It's really
Everybody.
I can't. I have, like I said, I have to be on my P's and Q's every practice, and it makes everyone better. But man, when it goes, man, Woody, Gentry, man, Bakari Vickers, I'm missing a couple, but just off the top of my head, Kanai Walker. Yeah, if I see any of them, Billy Bowman, of course, he can be on one side of the field, and then another second he's on the other side. So you always got to be looking out for him. But yeah, we got a lot of players in the backfield that you should be worried about.
But some of those guys, when you see them for the first time on the practice field, you go, oh, that's a future NFL guy right there, right? Like some guys you just know.
Our defense is full of those guys, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see. Again, coming over to a new league. Give me an idea what Coach Brent Venables is like. What's he like about as a head coach?
As a head coach, if I had to just give one word, just passionate. He's really passionate about the game, and it just you could feel it off of him. And he doesn't take any day for granted. He approaches every day with the same mindset, and he pours into us every single day. I joke that after practice he'd be talking too long, but he really be trying to make sure that we become better men in the end. And sometimes the after practice speeches be going around 30 minutes too long, but hey, he be doing it for the right reasons. That's all I'm gonna say.
As long as he's motivating you guys and getting y'all ready. It's funny, Nick. I tried to look back on the timeline. So when they recruited you, you committed November 2021. July 2021, we were at SEC Media Days when the news broke that Texas and OU were coming to the SEC. So I got to think that's something they maybe sold you on, that, hey, this is coming down the pike, and you're going to be a member of the SEC here soon.
I don't even really remember my recruiting process that much. It feels like so long ago, but no, I was definitely excited when I heard that we was going to be able to, compete in the SEC. And I was excited that I was going to be able to see both sides, Big 12 and SEC, because both of them are great programs. But, SEC is just a different ballgame when it comes to, football. So I wanted to experience both sides. And, I feel like OU was the perfect chance to, explore those options.
What's been the conversation, I guess, just around the building, around the team with coming to the SEC? Is this something people are talking about? Is this something the coaches are bringing up? Hey, we're going to some new places this year.
I mean, we approach every game the same, but obviously there's been a different sense of urgency. There's been a different, work ethic that I can tell that people are bringing, and I feel like everyone's just a little bit more focused now that we're going to the SEC. Just a little bit more details that we got to tighten up. But I mean, everybody's in the right mindset. We all know what we got to do and what we have to do to get to that goal. So.
Yeah, and you guys have played in some tough environments before. I mean, I know Oklahoma State last year was a rowdy environment, and there's been some rowdy environments. But this year, you guys get to go. I mean, it's kind of cool. You get to go to Auburn, at Ole Miss, at Mizzou, and at LSU to finish off the season. No, nothing better than that. But have you been to any of those places, or will this be your first time going to these venues?
I've been to Ole Miss. My middle brother, Ryder Anderson, he played at Ole Miss. He was a DN, so I've been there quite a few times. And I've also been to LSU. I've been to Death Valley again for my brother. He was at Ole Miss when he played them. So I've been to both situations. Every time I go to Death Valley, it's always raining though. So I hope that bad luck doesn't follow me this year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, look, just seeing these matchups in their in a silo is gonna be so cool to see. Talk a little bit about last year. Do you have a favorite memory or favorite moment specifically from last year? It was such a great year for you.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't compete. You really can't compete with a game-winning touchdown against Texas in the Red River rivalry. I mean, I feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my college career trying to chase that moment. But that was that one. Or actually, the Tulsa game was also a really cool experience because I had most of my family there. I have about half of my family lives in Tulsa, so I had about 12 family members in the stands, and that was the game I had 3 touchdowns. So I feel like I could have put on a better show for them.
More with Nick Anderson in just a second, but want to remind you guys this episode is presented to you by our friends over at Monopoly Go. And look, there's so much good stuff in this game right now. You need to go check them out. Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you can unlock. And there's so much to get, from unique stickers you could trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, or hilarious emojis for taunting your friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. It is an addictive game. Get into it. Monopoly Go makes you feel new and exciting every day because they've got constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure. There's also some new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. It's so much fun because, again, you could do it with your friends. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. Go get off the bench and get into the game. Go download it now for free on the Google Play or the App Store. It is game on when it comes to Monopoly Go. For those watching on YouTube, we're just going to cycle through a couple more photos we have here of Nick. It's the big moments. The stiff arm against Okie State. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stiff arm getting out there, keeping the separation there. I mean, is it crazy? Like, a lot of times you make a catch and it's like there's not even a defender near you sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I attach that to the game plan. I feel like Jeff Lebby dials it up really nice, but yeah, a lot of the times it was just a great pass, a great route, and then didn't have to do anything else. So
it is interesting. Like I said, you guys come to the SEC, but you mentioned Jeff Lebby a couple times here. He's now in the SEC as Jeff Lebby going to be the head coach at Mississippi State. You guys don't play them, but what do you think he's going to be like as a head coach now?
I mean, I have no doubt that he's going to do a great job. He was a really good coach and a great role model for us at OU. And I feel like he's made a lasting impression on some of the players that are still here. So I have no doubt that he's going to be a great head coach. And, I wish him the best.
And it's interesting, too. I mean, he goes and gets a quarterback in Blake Shapen from Baylor, who, former Big 12 quarterback who could play really well. It's funny, look at some of the projected win totals and all that. People aren't expecting much from Mississippi State. I'm kind of like, don't sleep on them. Like, Jeff knows how to call plays. Blake knows how to play quarterback. Like, they might, if you sleep on them, they might nip up and bite you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm excited to see what they do this season.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, talking with Nick Anderson, when you're not playing football, what are you doing?
That's a great question. Probably this, just chilling in my room. I have a little guitar I'm trying to learn how to play. I like watching anime a lot. If you know me, I like my anime. But other than that, I'm just chilling with my roommates, watching movies. That's it.
Video game guy at all?
Man, I try to be, but I'm not blessed in that area. I can't. I'm not too good. You don't want me on your team.
Now here we are in a couple weeks. The NCAA video games coming back. Are you excited about that?
Very excited about that. I might just have to lock in for that one game because I can't be slacking. I feel like that we're going to be playing that game a lot. I
tell you what, though, it's going to be weird. They're saying they're going to make it as realistic as possible. If I got to deal with the transfer portal and NIL and all this in the video game, I don't have the time for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to deal with that either. They can get that out the game.
Yeah, it's like you deal with that in real life. I don't deal with that in a video game too. It's crazy. What's the last thing you watched? Movie, TV show? Just give me the last thing you watched.
Off the top of my head, last movie that I watched, great movie, Dune 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because I watched the first one a couple weeks before I watched the second one with me and my roommates, and man, we were starstruck. We couldn't believe what we just saw.
Long, right?
Anybody, Dune 2.
It's long, right?
You said what?
It's long, like a couple hours long.
But me and my roommates were on the edge of our seat the whole time. Getting
All right.
I almost got loud in that theater room.
I haven't done it yet. I put it on my list. I saw Dune 1. I got to watch Dune 2 and just make a marathon out of it. He is Nick Anderson. And Nick, really appreciate you taking some time, man. Before we let you go, let everybody know I've been checking out. You and your buddy got a little podcast going. Y'all are on YouTube. You got the audio. You're doing your own thing here. Tell us about it.
Man, we're trying. We've been going for about a year. Me and my roommate, Caden Helms, we be releasing episodes on YouTube on our podcast named Red Dirt Rambles, and we just usually every 2 weeks or so we get a teammate or a coach or somebody around the staff, and we try to get them on. Ask them a couple questions, interview them for the pod, kind of like this. So yeah. So I mean, it's really fun. We're doing it for about a year, like I said. We got about 15, 20 episodes out now. So.
And y'all go super long too. Like I was looking at some of you do like hour-long podcasts.
See what happens is we think about like 8 or 9 questions that we really want to ask, and then we just let the conversation flow from there. So sometimes we'll be going for 45 minutes, sometimes we'll be going for an hour 25. So it really just doesn't matter.
It's crazy. We were 30 minutes and we're out. We're done. We're in it out. Last thing for you, I noticed he's got some cool tattoos. His whole right leg's like tatted down. He's got tattoos all over. What's your favorite tat? You got one that you're close like. This is the one that, bar none, my favorite.
Man, I don't know. I like a lot of my tattoos. Like I said, I'm an anime junkie, so all of my tattoos are anime related. Okay. But if I had to choose, probably this one, just because it took the longest and it hurt the most. So I feel like I gotta shout it out a lot. But I don't know.
What's worse, that getting that, or what hurts more, that tattoo or like a hard hit on the football field?
That's a great question. It just depends on the hit, because sometimes it'll look like the nastiest football hit ever and you'll pop up. And then sometimes you'll just get hit regularly and it'll feel like you got hit by a truck. So you really can't judge it off that. But I don't know. I feel like I take the tattoo over a bad football hit. I think.
Well, you guys are protected now. They got targeting and all that. Y'all are super protected now. So, but Nick, really appreciate the time, man. Can't thank you enough for coming on. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Best of luck this season. Again, gonna be so fun having Oklahoma come into the SEC, and really for the OU fans to get to come and experience SEC cities for the first time, and for a lot of SEC folks who've never been to Norman to get them up there and see what the atmosphere is like, because it's, in my opinion, Norman a little bit underrated. I don't think it gets enough credit for how loud that place gets on a Saturday.
No, definitely. It gets loud, and on the offense we really don't hear it too much because they quiet down for us. But when we make a play, you get a little taste of it. So they definitely get loud. We love our fans.
And of course, we get to preserve the OU Texas rivalry. I mean, you can't. Come on, that's a fun one there. So we'll look forward to keeping that one. But coming over, it's no longer a Big 12 game. It's now an SEC matchup between Texas and Oklahoma. Nick, again, thanks for the time, man, and really appreciate you jumping on with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Nick Anderson there of Oklahoma, and wide receiver for them, and look forward to seeing what he's going to do this season over there at OU. Thanks for watching Locked On SEC so much. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out Locked On Sports Today, streaming 24/7 on YouTube and the Amazon Fire TV apps. Go check it out right there. This has been Locked On SEC.